You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Because there are so many coming together working for Jamie's safe return, that it will happen quickly.
A nationwide search continues for a missing 13-year-old Wisconsin girl who police believe is in grave danger. What we know so far about her disappearance.
The midweek red tide report from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission is out. What effects Hurricane Michael had on the algae bloom.
And one family goes above and beyond on their Halloween display. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning, folks. Glad you're with us. 5 o'clock. Welcome to a baby blue Thursday.
Don't we match perfectly today?
I thought it was teal. I was told it's not teal.
Yeah,
though.
He said that this color was teal, and I was like, no, Ray, this is baby blue.
Let's get to the forecast now. Here he is, folks, dressed in black, John Scalzi.
Am I teal-less today, I guess? We have, across the region again, a day very similar, I think, to what yesterday was, and the day before that, if you get the idea. We're looking at another warm afternoon with daytime highs in the low 90s. Not much of a rain chance today, and lots of sunshine. We do have one slight little change, though, in that we have a cold front sinking southward that may provide us with a little extra additional cloud cover, although it's not going to do much in terms of cooler air. It sticks in North Florida, bringing a few scattered showers there for us. We have about the same rain chances we've had over the last several days, which is not much, coming in at about 10% in the afternoon with a daytime high of around 92. Not much changes in the forecast today, but it does as we head into the weekend, and we'll detail that in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Today, our live camera is at a busy spot, I-75 and Bee Ridge Road in Sarasota County. See the cars going up top northbound and southbound there on I-75, and there's the road on Bee Ridge. We'll check back on that in about 15 minutes. But first, let's go to the maps. Here was the scene in Manatee County. Not much to report so far. Let's go farther south. Here is northern Sarasota County, a little red there on the map where 41 starts to bend down toward the bayfront at the 301 intersection. And our final map to the south will indicate not much so far, a little red there between Nokomis and Venice, all clear right now at 5:02.
The report is in on how much Hurricane Michael has affected red tide on the Suncoast.
It's a big issue. Marla Spence has an update for us. She's live in the newsroom this morning. Marla?
Hey, Ray and Jess, there's been much speculation that Hurricane Michael had some effects on the red tide outbreak here on the Suncoast, considering some of the low concentrations that we've seen here on the Suncoast. Now, in this red tide report, midweek red tide report, it is reported that it shows much lower concentrations over much of the coastline since Michael. Now, bloom concentrations of red tide decreased in Manatee County, showing only low or very low levels of red tide. In Sarasota County, high concentrations of the bloom were found only at one site near New Pass, and there were only some reports of fish kills in that area as well. Now, respiratory irritation was also reported over the past week in both Sarasota and Manatee counties. As for whether or not Hurricane Michael helped ease the effects of red tide, a senior scientist at Mote Marine Laboratory had this to say.
Well, what we know is the anticyclonic motion of the winds as it was approaching were primarily offshore, so it blew the effects of the red tide and a lot of the organisms in the surface water away from the shore. So yes, we did see the effects and the red tide actually leaving the area, but actually just moving offshore. As it passed, the winds came back onto shore, and we found that the red tide and the effects of it came back with it. Not as intensive as it was, thank goodness, but still here.
And Dr. Richard Pierce with Mote Marine Laboratory tells us Hurricane Michael wasn't close enough to disperse the bloom totally. He says red tide is still around but patchy, and if winds continue offshore, we won't be feeling the effects of the toxic algae bloom. Jess?
All right. Thank you so much, Marla. Debris and erosion are causing safety concerns at a Sarasota County beach. Concrete exposed by Hurricane Michael continues to litter parts of Lido Beach. It's believed to be the remnants of the old Lido Beach Casino. In addition to the concrete on the beach and in the water, big concerns also include rusted pieces of steel that are sticking up. The city of Sarasota says there are plans to remove those pieces of concrete and leave the bigger pieces because it could create a bigger need for the sand on the beach if they removed them.
When you come down to the beach, you shouldn't have to worry about your safety walking the beach and stumbling over concrete. You shouldn't have to.
I would not let kids play around this, that's for sure. I mean, if I had children, I would never come down to this side. I would go way away from this. And people walk down here and look at it, it's a conversation piece, but at night, I mean, there's open, exposed rebar there.
Sarasota city officials say the issue will be completely resolved when the beach renourishment project gets underway. Emergency renourishment is scheduled to begin this November.
It has been 4 days since 13-year-old Jamie Kloss's parents were found shot to death in their Wisconsin home. Police say that teenage girl disappeared at the same time. And now, as reporter Andy Rose tells us, the FBI believes that Jamie is in extreme danger.
The FBI is asking for the public's help in its nationwide search for a missing 13-year-old Wisconsin girl. An Amber Alert was issued for Jamie Kloss after her parents were found dead in their home on Monday from gunshot wounds.
Today, the autopsies were completed and the medical examiner has ruled the deaths of Denise and James Kloss as homicides. Based on our investigations thus far, we believe Jamie was in the home at the time of the homicides, and we believe she is still in danger.
Police arrived at the Kloss home around 1 a.m. Monday after a 911 call was made from someone inside the house. Officers discovered the bodies, but Jamie Kloss was nowhere to be found.
We heard the first shot, followed just a couple of seconds by the second shot. And I asked my husband, I said, were those gunshots? Because they were so loud. And he said yes.
Investigators believe Jamie may have been abducted and is in extreme danger. A family member told CBS News the front door was shot in. The Barron County Sheriff says tips are pouring in, and he's asking residents to report anyone behaving out of character.
The individual may change their appearance or change something to prevent their identification. Every second counts in this case.
The Sheriff's Department says Jamie Kloss is 5 feet tall, weighs 100 pounds, and has green eyes and blonde hair. I'm Andy Rose reporting.
Looking ahead, tomorrow, the Sarasota County Schools Police Department will have an extra training day. These officers will focus on what they should do in the event of an active shooter. No students, staff, or administrators will take part in the event, which will take place at Gulfgate Elementary School.
A new type of neighborhood watch is coming to the city of Northport. The Public Works Department will oversee the new Canal Watch group. It'll consist of all volunteers. The goal is to make sure the city is not adding or causing any extra water pollution.
Our canal systems are part of the city's drinking water supply. So it's very important that they are, we've got good water quality.
Aside from the environmental aspect of it, the group will also serve as a watchdog for safety. For more on how you can join the Canal Watch group, head to our website, mysuncoast.com.
Manatee County commissioners are considering adding roundabouts along two busy roads, Honore Avenue and Lakewood Ranch Boulevard. Cooper Creek Boulevard and Honore Avenue is just one of those intersections that commissioners are considering. Manatee County commissioners say traffic issues are what people throughout the community seem to care about the most. So at a workshop with Public Works, commissioners brainstormed ways to help alleviate those problems in the growing areas.
They showed at an intersection how you have all these points of conflict, where a roundabout you have just 4 points of conflict. It really is a much safer alternative.
While roundabouts may be safer, they're also more expensive. Commissioners have asked staff to come up with more ideas for an improvement plan and see if they can be funded.
The 27th Annual National Civil Rights Awards were passed out last night, and the 3 winners were former Vice President Joe Biden, civil rights activist Jesse Jackson, and Memphis philanthropist Pitt Hyde. The theme of last night's event was the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. Biden was emotional when he accepted his award.
Since I've been a kid, I've received a lot of honors, many of which I did not deserve, including this one. But this is the greatest honor I've ever received.
Past winners include Oprah Winfrey, former South African President Nelson Mandela, and former President Bill Clinton. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, with flu season underway, we'll dispel the most common myth about flu shots.
And coming up a little later in the hour, recovery efforts are still underway in the Panhandle and South Georgia. Thousands are still without power and curfews are still in place for certain areas.
It is 5:09 on your Thursday morning. There's a shot outside our studio looking south back at downtown Sarasota. As far as your drive time forecast goes for that, here's John Scalzi.
Thank you, Ray. Everything looks pretty good for you today in terms of the forecast for going to work and coming back from work. None of the inclement weather boxes checked. On the way out to work, you're looking at temperatures that'll generally be in the upper 70s, humid, sunny skies as dawn breaks. On the way home, dry, sunny, near 90. Again, kind of a repeat of yesterday. And we're not looking at any airport delays being reported by the FAA area-wide at the hubs that serve Sarasota International Airport. Complete forecast details coming up in a few.
Watch Saturdays at midnight on ABC 7. Premieres September 8th.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong. A place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Find out who cooks the best collard greens on the Suncoast.
Join ABC 7 and the Newtown Farmers Market for Big Mama's Collard Greens Fest, Saturday, October 20th at Robert L. Taylor Community Center. Enjoy this flavor-filled family event for an assortment of food, live entertainment, and fun activities for people of all ages.
You don't want to miss the 3rd annual Big Mama's Collard Green Fest.
Go to newtownnation.com for more information on the festival and Newtown Farmers Market.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Virtually identical numbers on the current conditions board. 74-degree air temperature, 73-degree dew point, relative humidity at 97%. East-northeast wind coming in at 5. Oh, that's slightly different. Yesterday it was east-southeast. Now it's east-northeast. That east-northeast wind, kind of a condition of a frontal boundary sinking southward into our area, but it's really not going to produce any rainfall or cooler weather for us. It might give us a little additional cloud cover, but that would be about it. We'll go with about a 10% chance of rainfall again this afternoon. Yesterday we had one lone shower kind of move through, produce a little bit of light rainfall around the Venice area, and that was it. I mean, hardly even measurable amounts of rainfall. 92, our daytime high. I think today is another good bet for a temperature that'll be well above average by about 8 degrees or so. As we head into the weekend, that might change just a little bit, but until then, we are status quo. Titan radar not producing any echoes anywhere across the state of Florida this morning. Again, another very dry start to the day. We will probably see a few of these scattered showers that are just to the north, sink a little further to the south. Jacksonville, Gainesville, maybe as far south as Ocala gets a little bit of rainfall through the day today. And I do mean a little bit of rainfall, nothing really significant. The showers are part of a frontal boundary that extends all the way back through the deep south and back into parts of southern Texas. And again, the warm, moist air riding up over top of that frontal boundary, producing rain showers in places that don't need it in Texas. More heavy rainfall anticipated there again today. Frontal boundary sinks south, hits just about north central Florida, and stalls out. Eventually, it will lift back north as a warm front, so it doesn't really provide us with cooler air. Scattered showers will be around, and as I mentioned, that's the result of that gives us our cloud cover. If you want cooler air, you're probably going to have to wait till Sunday when another frontal boundary approaches. That one will have a little bit more energy associated with it and therefore sink a little bit further southward, shifting our winds to the northeast and drawing down some lower humidity air and taking our temperatures not to anything terribly cold, but returning us to where we normally would find ourselves at this time of year, which is about 85, 86 degrees. So that'll be kind of nice. It doesn't last a whole long time before that front starts to lift back north itself and produce a chance of some rain showers later in next week. But for today, warm weather continues. That's a shocker, right? Mostly dry skies, but a little bit more cloud cover around. And then that cooler air that I was speaking about, that should arrive probably on Sunday and last through Monday, Tuesday, something like that. Much of the country is enjoying some really kind of delightful weather, actually. Temperatures in the 40s and 30s over a lot of the northeastern sections. The deep south, a lot of it coming in the 60s and 50s, which I like. We, however, have not gotten a taste of that quite yet. We're still in the 70s to start off the morning, and we'll probably end up in the 90s over most of the peninsula of Florida. Thunderstorm outlook includes most of the state today, though that's a small risk. I'm really not so concerned about that. Our forecast for today carries on with that northeasterly wind at about 10 knots, 2-foot seas, light chopping over the course of the week ahead. We're looking at a 10% chance of rain today. A lot of sunshine as we head into the weekend with those slightly cooler Sunday temperatures. And then the front kind of wags its tail across the region next week and brings us a little bit of rainfall Tuesday and Wednesday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Don. Looking forward to those cooler temperatures. Taking a look now at first alert traffic. We begin in Manatee County, where there are really no issues to report at this point in time. Smooth sailing if you're leaving the house early this morning. And as we head south into Sarasota County, things look almost the same. A very slight slowdown on Bee Ridge Road near I-75 if you're heading eastbound. And we head even further south to our final map in South County. Things are running smoothly there as well. It's 5:18 on your Thursday morning. If you're skeptical about the safety of the flu vaccine, you're not alone. A new survey by Orlando Health found that more than half of parents think the flu shot causes the flu. Experts say the idea that the flu shot can cause the flu is a myth, one that may have originated from the fact that it takes about 2 weeks for the vaccine to kick in. In the wake of flu season, experts recommend that any healthy person over 6 months old get that flu vaccine. Now take a look at this. Target is saying Merry Cheesemas this holiday season by offering a cheese advent calendar.
Instead of the usual typical chocolate, the calendar offers 24 pieces of individually wrapped cheeses, one to be eaten on each day of Advent in the countdown to Christmas. Calendars cost $20, cheese included. The cheese brands include Applewood, Mexicana, and Jarlsberg. What is it?
I don't know.
What's your favorite cheese?
I love cheese, but I'm not a fancy cheese
What's
eater.
your favorite cheese?
I like American cheese.
Yeah?
Very basic. What about you?
I like Swiss cheese.
Oh, Swiss. That's not one of them.
I could inhale a block of cheese in one sitting.
Me too.
Aaron will say, where'd the cheese go? I had it.
It was a snack earlier.
The whole thing? Yeah, the whole thing.
All right, still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, there's now a smart mug that uploads your caffeine intake to your Apple Health app. Details in today's Tech Bites.
Next half hour, new details about the disappearance of a Washington Post columnist. Those stories and more on the way. First, here's a live shot of your biggest city, New York City, at 5:19 a.m. More news on the way on Good Morning Suncoast.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Civics on sale is now. During our model year-end sale, drive new Civics for just $169 a month. You made Civic the best-selling compact car in America. And now get Civic, a KBB.com's best buy of the year for less than the competition. New Civics just $169 a month. Your last chance for Civics, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps.
2, 3, 4.
Or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making the connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business. Saturdays at midnight on ABC7.
Long ago in the galaxy of Columbus, Ohio, one family set up a huge Halloween display. That's right, a life-size AT-AT has taken over the front yard of this Ohio home. In case you don't know, AT-AT is Star Wars speak for all-terrain armored transport. I didn't know and had to ask one of our producers. This combat vehicle was featured in 4 Star Wars movies and served as land transport for the Imperial Army. If you or your kid will be trick-or-treating as a representative of the Rebel forces this year, you may want to take a flight up there to Columbus, Ohio and have your lightsaber ready.
Well done. I'm glad they gave you that story. It'd be in German to me. I couldn't understand a word you said.
I had to ask Zach, our producer, what AT-AT was. He showed me a picture.
He loves that stuff, yes.
Apple stores are now selling a $2,000 self-flying drone that you can control from an Apple Watch.
Wow. Details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, new Google phones are going on sale today.
The Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL are getting rave reviews for their new improved cameras. Critics say the phone's casing is prone to scratches. The XL starts at about $900. The smaller version is $100 less. Apple stores are now selling a drone you can control from your Apple Watch.
The Skydio says its drone doesn't need much more because it practically flies itself. You can even tell it to follow someone or even yourself. It costs $2,000. And your coffee cup can now keep tabs on your caffeine consumption.
The Ember Smart Mug can be linked to the Apple Health app to estimate your caffeine intake based on what you drink and how often you drink it. The mug also knows when your coffee is running low and when it needs to be warmed up. Sounds pretty useful, actually.
I need some caffeine.
I need some caffeine. Let's go get it. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Allstate.
Fact is, every insurance company hopes you drive safely. But Allstate actually helps you drive safely with DriveWise. It lets you know when you go too fast and brake too hard. With feedback to help you drive safer, giving you the power to actually lower your cost. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
Stop dancing around the pain that's keeping you awake. Advil PM gives tossing and turning a rest and silences aches and pains. Fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer with Advil PM.
If you come to Burlington just to buy a coat, here's what you're missing.
Great fitting jeans.
Tons of boots.
My favorite brands. So much for the home. Makeup. The latest fashion.
All the great brands at a fraction of the cost. Hello, Burlington. Bye-bye Coat Factory.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Over a week later, and recovery efforts are still underway in the Panhandle and South Georgia.
Donations continue to come in for Hurricane Michael victims. How you can get involved.
And it's a small world after all. An update this morning on the Tennessee couple with the chaotic Disney journey. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning. It's Thursday morning. It's 5:30. I'm Jess Dowdrick.
And I'm Ray Collins. John Scalzi said, a sense of deja vu today, a lot like yesterday, my friend.
All over again, Ray. Absolutely. In fact, all of our boards look pretty similar to what we saw yesterday. Cooper in central Sarasota has 74 degrees. Scott, our newest weather watcher in Pinecrest, has 73 degrees. Jeff in Laurel Park has 74. Richard in Northport, 72. So all hovering around that same area. We may get a little extra cloud cover around today because of a frontal boundary sinking southward. So far, it's pretty quiet and clear across the state of Florida. But we got a little bit of cloud cover just to the north up around Jacksonville, actually under that banner right there that shows you a little cloud cover might sink southward. Otherwise, quiet in terms of radar echoes. Daytime high temperature about the same as yesterday, 92. Back to you.
All right, talk to you again soon. Our roving camera right now is set up on Bee Ridge Road, looking back west toward the interstate and the rest of the road there. Looks like traffic is indeed picking up. Let's find out, though, for sure. We'll check our maps right now. We do have an issue already developing on I-75 near State Road 64. We'll click on that and learn more about that together. That is going to be at a drum roll right now. All right, here we go. 75 accident at State Road 64. That's not overly detailed, but you get the idea that there might be some problems there with the ongoing construction on the ramp already. So be aware of that in case you're traveling around 75. Southbound accident at State Road 64. Farther south, here's the scene now in the northern half of Sarasota County. Nothing right now in the red beside. Just some buildup there around the 41-301 intersection where 41 is called Mound and passes by Orange and Osprey. And then farther south, we'll check that and find out there is a little bit of red there at Osprey in the southbound lane on US 41. Mountains of debris and shattered lives. A week has passed now since Hurricane Michael tore through the Florida Panhandle. And as reporter John Lawrence tells us, for some, the recovery process won't be easy.
Mexico Beach, all but unrecognizable to those who call this place home.
It's almost like you're in a dream, like it's not really real, but you know it is.
Residents are literally picking up the pieces left by Hurricane Michael.
Pictures, anything that's you can't replace, just the things that are irreplaceable.
Our house, what's left is a concrete slab, and everything that the house and whatever was in it is in that pile of debris that's up at the street.
Hurricane Michael is responsible for at least 32 deaths in 4 states: Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. Roughly half of the confirmed fatalities were in Bay County, Florida, where Michael landed at Category 4 status. But sheriff's deputies say they're finding more victims as the water recedes. They also say people who didn't evacuate could be buried beneath piles of concrete, wood, and metal. Despite the damage, residents say a renaissance is on the way.
We will rebuild and we'll be okay.
This isn't the end of Mexico Beach. We still have a big story to write, and we're going to write one.
FEMA has teams in Florida helping residents register for disaster help. There are also dozens of distribution stops in Florida and Georgia where victims can get food and water. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Many homes across South Georgia had their roofs collapse after Hurricane Michael, and roofing experts say that improvements to building code requirements and inspections might be needed. Experts say Hurricane Michael has shown the need for a harder look at the building construction being done. He says the hurricane has clearly shown that some roofs were not properly constructed.
I've seen things on the news where you guys have run clips of roofs that, have been blown off, and a lot of the lumber is attached to the metal on the bottom side of the roof system. And when you see that, you know right away that that roof was not properly installed.
Says the biggest need right now for South Georgia is tarps to protect homes and buildings with holes in the roofs.
Donations for Hurricane Michael victims continue to come in to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. They've been collecting items to take up to the Panhandle for a week now. They'll be filling this semi with everything from food and water to cleaning supplies and toiletries. Those dropping off supplies say they feel compelled to help in any way possible. For Cindy Maldonado, she's been through something similar years ago and knows the importance of these donations.
Basically, I went through Hurricane Andrew in Fort Lauderdale, and I know what it's like to lose everything.
The truck will head up to the Bay County area in the Panhandle early next week.
Mississippi Search and Rescue Task Force members started making their way home from Florida last night, but one of their rescues brought a family new joy ×2. A couple trapped in this Panama City neighborhood requested help from several groups, but it was the Mississippi crew that spent 4 hours cutting trees and getting a clear path to drive them out. A day later, Melanie Perkins delivered her twin boys.
I would love to keep them in contact with us and share pictures as they're growing up, because we could have been in a really, really bad situation. We couldn't have gone a day longer, and we wouldn't have our cute little boys if it weren't for them. So we're really thankful for them.
The Mississippi team was checking up to 1,000 structures each day while in and around Panama City.
New developments now about the disappearance of a Washington Post columnist. As ABC's Janae Norman tells us, there's increased evidence the Saudi crown prince is involved.
The Washington Post publishing a final op-ed piece written by journalist Jamal Khashoggi, received a day after he was reported missing in Istanbul. Now disturbing details are emerging about what happened inside the Saudi consulate. One of Khashoggi's closest friends telling ABC News they not only killed him in the consulate, but also in a barbaric way. He says security officials said they do have audio. Turan Kishlaki telling ABC News Turkish officials told him the tapes reveal when Khashoggi walked into the consulate, he was given a document to sign. He refused and was then killed. The New York Times reporting Turkish authorities say the audio recordings indicate a hit squad beheaded and dismembered Khashoggi. Turkish authorities released the pictures of 15 Saudis they say traveled to Istanbul the day Khashoggi disappeared. Also reporting among the suspects is an autopsy expert, and several others have ties to the Saudi crown prince, including one man pictured in Boston, Houston, and Madrid with the prince. President Trump says the prince and Saudi king both deny having any knowledge about what happened to Khashoggi. All this as the president and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo emphasized the importance of the relationship between the U.S. and the oil-rich ally.
I'm not giving cover at all. With that being said, Saudi Arabia has been a very important ally of ours in the Middle East.
President Trump told reporters we'll likely know by the end of the week who is responsible for Khashoggi's death. He's expected to be briefed today by Secretary of State Pompeo. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
A follow-up now on a plan to build dozens of homes next to a busy horse farm in Venice. Wyndham Home Development out of Michigan is asking the City Council to approve 118 homes just north of Foxley Farm. A new plan includes larger buffers between the proposed neighborhood and the equestrian training facility. The development still needs city approval before construction can begin.
The City of Venice is introducing its new Adopt a Park program. Citizen groups, schools, and businesses can assist the city in beautifying its parks by volunteering to pick up trash and litter and keeping the parks looking good. In return for at least 4 cleanups a year, that organization will have its name displayed on a park sign.
Happening today, a car dealership is giving $12,000 worth of food to some Sarasota County students. Toyota of Sarasota is donating $50 for each car sold during September to Fruitville Elementary. That's on Honorary Avenue. The program is called VW Hope in a Backpack. The program helps fill the hunger gap for some needy students. The car dealership will fill 300 backpacks. This will take place this morning at 8:15 a.m. at the Village Walk Town Center in Sarasota County.
Also happening today, the Sarasota County Fire Department is helping spread the word on fire safety during Fire Prevention Month by hosting a virtual ride-along. Tweet from the Heat will take place today from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. They'll share fire safety tips, common violations found in businesses, and how inspectors work closely with firefighters in their area, all via Twitter.
Still ahead, the big question everybody's asking: how did Hurricane Michael impact our red tide? We do have some new answers for you. You might not love the answers. We'll have that story in a live update straight ahead.
Now we're looking live outside at the city of Sarasota. It's a little darker than the New York skyline that we saw a few minutes ago. Now for a look at your forecast, we head over to meteorologist John Scalzi.
Oh, well, again, some pretty nice conditions, actually, particularly for the kids at the bus stop today. No issues whatsoever. Like the last few days, it's been pretty nice out there. They'll be picked up with temperatures in the 70s, upper 70s, and then dropped off with temperatures in the 90s. It'll be hot and dry this afternoon with a little bit more cloud cover around, but not much in the way of any kind of issues for rainfall. 10 out of 10 chance of an outside recess today under hot, mostly sunny skies. Right back with the forecast.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 74-degree air temperature. We have a dew point value coming in at 73, so pretty close together. And when you get temperature and dew point within a couple of degrees of one another, you have very high relative humidity, as we do now, 97%. We have also a northeast wind coming in today at about 5 miles per hour. The little northerly component to the wind, signature that the frontal boundary north of us will be pushed into the North Florida, where it will eventually just stall out across north central Florida before bringing us any cooler air. But we may get a little extra cloud cover out of it. We'll go with about a 10% chance of an afternoon shower or so. Again, not much better than we've had over the last several days, when we've had really only isolated showers around. Yesterday, we saw one lone shower kind of move through with hardly any noticeable rainfall. No thunderstorm activity in our area anywhere close to us. And that, I think, will be the case through the afternoon. No showers to break the heat. And the heat will be on, no doubt about that. Titan radar across the entire peninsula, pretty quiet right now. But to the north of us, you can see this thin line of showers out into the Atlantic waters. That's part of the frontal boundary trying to sink southward. It may bring an isolated shower or scattered shower to Jacksonville and Gainesville, but that's about as far south as you're going to see anything significant. The front itself kind of extends through the deep south and meanders back toward the coastline of Texas, where it's going to produce more rainfall today in already flooded areas. Flash flood watches are still up for west central Texas. And I think we'll probably watch a little bit of that rain shower activity start to abate over the next 24 hours. And that because the frontal boundary sinking southward will kind of pull the tail into that front a little bit closer to us, reducing the uplift back in Texas. This front is really not going to bring us any cooler air. It stalls out, washes out, returns to the north as it washes out as a warm front. So we stay in the warm, muggy air here. We will get some changes coming up, but not until the weekend, when another front, not on the map quite yet, comes southward and brings us a little bit of a wind shift and some slightly cooler air that returns us to weather that's kind of more typical for this time of year. I shouldn't say return us because we haven't been there yet, but gets us to weather that's a little more typical for this time of year. In the mid-80s, which will be kind of nice compared to the 90s where we have been. Warm weather continues again today, mostly dry skies. Cooler, though, on Sunday with that next front coming through. You can see some of those cooler temperatures across the Northeast. It is beautiful back toward areas of Boston, stretching through Toronto, Cleveland, Chicago, all in the 30s for morning lows, but daytime highs in the afternoon coming in the 70s and 60s. So very pretty leaf change underway there. It's really nice conditions. We'll continue to watch that chance of thunderstorm across central Florida today as the front sinks south, but that's really going to be mostly for North Florida. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of activity around here, even though we are identified by the Storm Prediction Center. That's because this dry air aloft. We've been showing this for days now, and nothing's really changing. This tan color showing that dry air locked in place, preventing any kind of widespread shower activity for us. Winds will be generally out of the northeast. Nice day for boating out there. Should be pretty 2-foot seas, light chop, nice wind blowing. 10% chance of a shower today with a high of 92. Same thing tomorrow. Don't think there's much of a chance of showers tomorrow as the front kind of washes out. Saturday, same thing. We'll look for temperatures in the 90s. But then as we head into Sunday, we'll start to lower our temperature as another frontal boundary starts to approach. Moves through, actually. Stalls to our south with a chance of rain. Monday's pretty quiet. Tuesday, the front starts to lift back north across our region and starts to raise our temperature once again. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. We're now taking a live look for first alert traffic at the intersection of I-75 and Bee Ridge Road in Sarasota County. Things seem to be running smoothly there this morning. Typically a very congested area, but it is still early at 5:48 on your Thursday morning. Let's take a look now at the traffic maps as you head out the door this morning. We begin in Manatee County, where we do have an accident on I-75 southbound at the State Road 64 interchange. As Ray had mentioned a little bit ago, there is a lot of construction going on there, so take extra precaution as you head out the door this morning. Other than that, no major issues in Manatee County. As we head south into Sarasota County, it's all clear as you make your way to work this morning. And as we head a little further south, it's all clear in South County of Sarasota as well. It's 5:48 on your Thursday morning. The report is in on how much Hurricane Michael affected red tide on the Suncoast.
Our Marla Spence has that report. She's live now in the newsroom with an update. Marla, good morning. Hey, Ray and Jess, good morning. You know, there's been much speculation that Hurricane Michael could have helped this year's red tide outbreak, considering some low concentrations of the toxic algae bloom on the Suncoast since Michael. Now, this is the latest red tide report by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. It shows much lower concentrations over much of the coastline since Michael. Now, bloom concentrations of red tide also decreased in Manatee County, showing only low or very low levels of red tide, and in Sarasota County, high concentrations of the bloom were found only on one site near New Pass, and there were also reports of dead fish. Now, we did speak to a senior scientist at Mote Marine Laboratory on whether or not Hurricane Michael helped ease the effects of red tide and what it could take to end this year's outbreak.
That is the big question. We just don't know exactly what will take to stop it. Sometimes the hurricane might have dispersed it to the point offshore where it doesn't come back. Other times, because of a lot of rain, bringing nutrients runoff from the land and estuaries, which are always high in nutrient anyway, if the red tide comes back in and there are a lot of nutrients available to it, it could get going again. So we just kind of have to wait and see.
Dr. Richard Pierce with Mote Marine Laboratory tells us Hurricane Michael wasn't close enough to disperse the bloom totally. He says red tide is still around but patchy, and he says it all depends on the winds. He says if winds continue offshore, we won't be feeling much of the effects of red tide. Jess and Ray.
All right, thank you, Marla. An update now on the Tennessee couple's mission to visit 6 Disney parks on 2 coasts in one day. Heather and Clark Ensminger finished their journey in California. They did Disney World's 4 theme parks in Orlando, took a cross-country flight, ended last night at Disneyland's 2 California parks. How much did they enjoy it? No word.
I have no idea. I wonder how smoothly it went, too. I mean, I'm sure something had to have gone wrong along the way.
At the airport, probably.
Yeah.
They couldn't get on the
But
flight.
they made it. That's the important part.
Long lines for them yesterday on both coasts and at the airport.
Yeah.
5:51, the day's top news headlines after this. Stay with us.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
It's rainy season on the Suncoast. Storms can pop up at a moment's notice. Sometimes it's just rain. Sometimes it's much worse. When there's the potential for severe weather, you need to know fast. Trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather to get you the information you need right away. We focus on the storms that impact where you live, and we're committed to alerting you with important information as soon as we get it. When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you. You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC 7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like. Then click Following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing Notifications. Choose Breaking News, Posts, Live Videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station. Like ABC7 on Facebook to stay connected to the team you trust.
Here are some of the top stories we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Scientists say Hurricane Michael was too far offshore to substantially break up red tide. They say any sort of relief will be short term. They say it's red tide is 2 miles offshore now and 24 miles wide.
Plus, Sarasota County School District's new police officers are being put in the middle of a mock active shooter investigation. No students, staff, or administrators will take part in the event. It'll happen tomorrow at Gulfgate Elementary School.
And an update on plans for a new housing development in Venice. Wyndham Home Builders wants to put larger buffer zones in between 118 proposed homes and the adjacent Foxley Farm equestrian training facility. They still need city approval.
Now let's head over to meteorologist John Scalzi.
A couple of things on the boards for you today. It's going to be similar to yesterday, I think, in that we'll have mostly sunny skies and temperatures will be running on the warm side, anywhere from 5 to 8 degrees above the average, and very small rain chances. But we may see a few more clouds around, and the reason for that, a cold front sticking to our north. Back to you.
All right, so what is slowing down construction of the former Colony Resort? That answer will be next hour, and it might surprise you. Stay with us, folks. We'll see you in 2 minutes.